Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a birthday card to share with you, a really simple but fun one to create. So this one is featuring the Bubbly Birthday from My Favorite Things, as well as the Essential Alphabet and the Watercolor Wash Square Stencil. Now first off, I am starting with the images from the Bubbly Birthday. I am coloring two here, and then later on I will stamp one more, the bubbles, on top of my panel and color it over there. So I'm starting from darkest to lightest. I'm coloring this gorgeous mermaid, and as you probably know, one of my weak spots are skin and hair. So most of the time, if I am up for it, I try to start with the hardest parts of my images for me personally, which is the skin and the hair. And once I succeeded in those parts, I know that normally the rest should go smoothly. So that's why I started on skin and hair here. And I'm just using some Copic markers. These combinations I use all the time. If you're interested to revisit these combinations later on, or if you just want to have them all at one side, you can just go to my blog post. There is a link in the description box. There I'm always pointing out the combinations that I used. I'm sharing them here, why not there? And there everything is just visible in one go. So I'm listing skin, hair, the pie, blue, purple, that we will use later on. Really easy for you to retrieve in any case, and also later on. So the hair didn't go as well as I would want it to, but in the end I was quite happy with it. It is still a difficult thing to do, but I learn every day and I get more confident, and we should sometimes just give us a bit of slack. Okay, so I wasn't getting those streaky kind of hair vibes that I tried to get, but I like it anyway, and that's the most important thing. Next, I went for some purples. Really fun. I actually based myself on a card that I made in the past. There I made a thank you card also with some of my favorite things products, and I really loved the distress ink combination that I did in the background, and I wanted to do that again. So I'm doing that today, and just based on that background I try to mimic that color again on the coloring as well. So therefore I'm using here some purple, I will also use blue, and then the combination of both of them I will use on the background itself. So I'm working my way through my markers. I'm going from darkest to lightest, but you do you, of course. And then I'm just making sure that whenever I go outside the lines, I'm using my colorless blender to fix those tiny hiccups that I made. It's a really handy marker to have, the colorless blender. I can only recommend it. Without it, I would not be coloring with Copics. So I know that it might be a bit atypical to do a blue fish, but I didn't want to add any orange to my card, and that is like a goldfish kind of fish is a really obvious one, so I didn't want that. So I went for just the blue and the purple, as it would go really well with my background, and I didn't know yet or knew yet what I wanted to do with the hat, with the party hats, but then I just decided to keep it with the same combinations and just made sure that the mermaid had a bit of blue and that the fish had a little bit of purple. So that's what I went for, really simple. Not a lot of markers in the end if you compare it to the case where you would change every single part of the images to another color. Wow, the talking is going really bad today, but I'm trying to get some videos done for you guys. I have a few cards ready to share, but I just am helping everywhere around me since I can still. I'm not moving yet. I'm moving in August, and so I actually had a lot of friends that also bought their first houses around the same time as us. But since we allowed the previous owners to stay a bit longer since they are renovating another house, we aren't moving, and our friends have been moving, so we're helping there. Some needed a bit of painting done, so we help there. And then we have other friends that are renovating themselves, so I just went there 2 days in the weekend to just help break out the floor and stuff. So I am sort of dividing my time a bit, and so sometimes I just don't get to making cards or prepping the videos. But I know that you guys are here, and I'm really grateful that you stick around and that you are still here to follow along with me with my crafty adventures. So I'm trying to keep you a bit up to date with everything that is happening. But there is a lot coming, and so that's also a reason why I decided to stop with some of the design teams, although I love them dearly. And every design team where I have been in, I truly adored all of the products. But just time-wise, with the full-time job, and then searching for furniture, and then helping friends out, which is also important, I just wasn't getting around to have enough time to create all of the content that is, of course, expected when you're in a design team. So it's a lot of fun to get some products and to try things out as one of the first people, and then just to talk about it, because I was passionate about everything that I touched from the design teams. But just time-wise, I was also lacking time for friends or family that needed some help. So therefore I just took a step back, and maybe one day I will have more time again to enjoy more teams again. But for now, I just really had to prioritize, and so I am featuring here things I bought myself, and having fun. And of course I will still share products that I got from design teams, because as I said, I love them, but I will just do it on my pace. And so yeah, I'm happy that I decided for myself to just slow down a bit. On the other side, it was heartbreaking to say to some of, well, to everyone of the owners that I just needed a bit more time for me. But they were all really understanding, and it was sad to go. But sometimes you just need to see what we can do and what we can't. So and happy times are coming, and I'm really excited about everything. And I'm also really proud of myself that I was there 2 days breaking out the floors of my best friend's house. So nice things are happening, and that's the most important thing. So about the card, as I die cut all of the images, as well as just did the background with that combination that I used in the past. It's gorgeous, don't you think? I die cut birthday, well, B-Day, 3 times using the essential alphabet, and I'm just going to repeat them on this squared background that we just created. And so I used some present seal. Once I had one birthday aligned perfectly, I used present seal, and then I'm just adding the others on top, lining it with the first one, and then just using present seal again to have everything perfect. And I thought this was really genius. I will not be the first one showing you this, but for me, I didn't see it yet by someone. And so I thought, well, Lynn, you are really a genius. So this was a euphoric moment in my life, check. Well, sometimes it's just the little things that make us happy. So here I'm just lining it up using my T-square ruler, pressing it down, leaving it a bit because I'm using liquid glue. So I took this time while it was drying to add some thin foam squares on the back of my images. Just doing that, and then I'm just making sure that I have those two others aligned as well, trying to space them out sort of correctly with that stenciled area that we have, just to keep it simple. But at the same time, and a lot of you probably know it, but if you keep things simple or try to keep things simple, it actually takes a lot of time or a lot of work, because the simple things stand out if they are not done right. So therefore, I loved creating this card. I won't do it again soon. It might be really, well, dramatic, but I just fiddled quite a bit. So I know next time if I think I'm going to do this and channel my inner Laura Besson, I will think a third time, you know. I love her. She's great. She's more than great. She's amazing. But I'm definitely not her. But she has this lovely way of playing with alphabet sets, and sometimes just she die cuts the whole set still adhered to create a gorgeous panel, and I'm thinking, you're a genius. We all are thinking that when we see Laura Besson, don't we? So here I definitely was channeling her, and I, for the zillionth time, respect her a lot. So here, just making sure that I am sort of placing it in the middle. And then once I'm happy with placement, pressing it down, putting an acrylic block on it, and then I could peel it off. As you can see here, patience wasn't my strong suit, but it worked out. That's the most important thing. So next up, we are going to add our images. Just playing around a bit with placement. I tend to go for 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 images. In this case, I wanted a third image, sort of figuring out how I could place it in sort of a triangle. That always works, always. So going to add the mermaid as this sort of worked. And then I will add the fish, and then I will add the bubbles. Now the bubbles will be, well, for a part of it, it will be on top of the ink blended area. But I will not stop there. I will just add a little bit of blue marker on there and some glossy accents. It will be our secret. But it's water, there are bubbles in it. I mean, can you add bubbles without glossy accents? And I know the question itself can be answered with yes, but we know that actually it's a no. Okay, so here onto the coloring of the bubbles. Really simple. I didn't do a lot, I just added a few markers, a few. And then just reinforce it by going in a second layer, but I didn't even try to completely cover it because you can have a white area. And then I'm adding this panel on top of a card base, and then we are going to finish off our card by adding some details. So the glossy accents, but also stickles. Stickles will go on the pie. And then, well, I contemplated whether I could add it on more parts, and I definitely think you could add it on, for example, the leathers or even the party hats. But I just went for glossy accents on the bubbles and then stopped right there. Clean and simple, don't you think? That being said, I am really glad with how it turned out. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and of course that you also like the end result. I want to thank you all for stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate you all being here and supporting me. I want to wish you all an incredible day, and I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!